I'm Rick Edwards. I'm the Acting Chief of Police for the City of Richmond. Today, I asked several members of our Richmond community to come around the table at the Richmond Police Department's headquarters so we could have a frank and earnest conversation about policing and where we are today. I think it was a productive conversation, as you'll hear. When I hear about what happened in Memphis, I must say that I commend the Chief of Police and the city government and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They did exactly what I would do in the same circumstance. They acted quickly, decisively, had a competent and thorough investigation, and then fired those officers, and then quickly moved towards criminal charges and appropriate charges under the circumstances. So I wanted to have a dialogue with folks, to hear you, to hear your concerns. I believe in our community here, and as long as we can provide that security, we want people to express their outrage. We want folks to be able to protest, but what we don't want is to see the violence and the property destruction that we saw in 2020.
I think we have the same sentiment at VCU Police. We pride ourselves on fair and impartial policing. We pride ourselves on treating every single individual with dignity and respect. And the fact that there are 5 police officers in this nation involved in that kind of conduct is really, really disturbing at this point in time where we are.
One of the first things I did when I became the interim chief is discuss core values. One of those core values is establishing legitimacy in our police department, reestablishing trust and legitimacy. We cannot do this job without the community believing that we're there to stand up for them.
Would we get the same attention, even here in Richmond, if these was all white officers?
Yes.
Are we looking at this because it's all black officers? But for the most part, the transparency is extremely important. Look at the folks that are graduating from the academy. Look at the good work that the men and women are doing here in the city. And then look at the community partnership. Look at the folks around the table that have come together today. They've taken out their busy schedules to be here because we care about our communities.
Regardless of race, if those officers acted the way they did in Memphis, I would terminate them that day too. Secondarily, because I've heard that. That's something that people around the community have come to me and asked me that question. But I can tell you right now, for leading this agency, that will not play into it, that we will judge everyone upon their actions regardless of how they look.
I have been in the city of Richmond for 38 years, a really, really long time. And, you know, I saw the Richmond Police Department crime briefing, the end of year briefing the other day. I have not seen a better put together crime briefing from the Richmond Police Department in a very, very long time. So I think the change that everyone is looking for is right before our eyes.
I also am a retired judge from Richmond City. I have seen a lot of the Richmond police officers, the state police from Virginia, the VCU officers, the Capitol Police, and I can say that we have had an outstanding police department. There have been issues, there have been problems, but I've never seen the type of issues that I'm seeing from some other police departments. The frustration is that for some reason, historically, there's always a minor offense, a traffic offense, and then we have a young black person that is being murdered. We need to communicate. This is not the core value for the Richmond Police Department. We are going to handle excessive use of force promptly and, as he stated, correctly.
I do think you are the right team. You're helping move the Richmond Police Department forward as far as showing unity in the community. I think this is the right thing to do as far as being proactive, as far as all of these leaders across the table standing with you all and sending a message out to not just the city, to the region, to the state, and to the country. The nation is in mourning.
Yes.
In reference to what happened to Mr. Tyree Nichols, who was a person who loved skateboard, who had his mom tattooed on his body, who had 2 jobs. We will stand with you, but to all of the members across the table, we cannot. We cannot, and I hope that we don't have cowards in here. We cannot allow folks to come back into our city, throw bricks at humans, throw bricks at the police department, setting things on fire. That is not the way we do things. We have so much culture here. We are the cradle of the nation. We will not allow this. And the community, businesses, churches, congregations, whomever, the police department, we need to stand in unity. If something like this breaks out again, we must stand up to the foolishness that may enter into the city of Richmond.
God requires of us to do good. To do good and serve. And that's what we've all been called to do, and I'm just here to do that.
And we're unified in this city to make sure, just as JJ said, that we won't allow and tolerate the type of violence that has occurred in the past.
I think that this is time for unity. I think that sometimes things happen so that things can happen. And we want them to be all good things. But sometimes tragedy has to happen so that the people can unite and come together. And you're the man of the hour. I don't think you have no cowards at this table. I think God has set you up with some folk at the table. The message is very clear on how we feel about what is transpired with Tyree. However, we also want the message to be clear that this is our city.
Yes.
And we're going to protect it. And we're going to make sure that those that don't come to protest, but come to riot, because there's a difference.
Yes.
All right, that we're going to deal with you.
That's right.
You know, over 20 years in the club business, once a person is angered, it's too late.
You're right.
You know, you can't react to an angry person. So first, I want to salute Chief for being so far proactive that we still are in front of a situation, gathered. You know, we're not trying to gather troops after half of Broad Street is on fire.
That's right.
You know, that we're being proactive because that gives us the opportunity to reach people and be proactive and send a positive message. And I second JJ and Michelle. Everybody at this table is a warrior. So what you need, we're going to war for you.
And so today, I'm at the table really to just hear what's going on, to back it, to push it, and to magnify it in our community the way that it needs to be so that we will be able to maintain the narrative and dispel any type of myth. I'm not a police officer. I will never be one.
We're hiring.
But and I'm sending people to you guys. I have two at my church that want to be, you know, and I will forever pray for you guys and support you guys, you know, no matter what. But I want us to be careful not to make people feel like we're policing them, especially those of us who are community leaders.
Right. You know, what I'm telling my officers is that we want to respect everyone's right to protest, their First Amendment right to speak.
This right here is really powerful, that you have this platform for us to address what we can do to support you.
Right.
As Chief, you were saying about rebuilding trust and legitimacy. I believe that the key for all of us is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
And I believe that we are in front of the 8 ball, and we're going to do the best we can as a group. You know, there's no superstar here, but we all work together. We'll be able to push forward what we need to do in a community at VCU, my alma mater, and here in the city. Chief.
No mention for University of Richmond?
With one of the things I do besides the pastorship, I'm also a chaplain with the Richmond Police Department. As part of what we do, we go into the precincts. I'm at 3rd precinct, so we're over there pretty regularly, just talking to the officers, encouraging them, and doing what we can to support. But I've definitely seen a definite shift in a positive way since you've been the chief, and I appreciate that. You know, we see you out in the community doing different things, and I think that's important. You know, to see your face, to see the leader's face out in the community.
Being there has really been an inspiration for me to be with around the police officers. So along with new leadership, there's an opportunity for the people you lead to do things differently as well.
It breaks my heart when I see bloodshed and I see that the cycle continues. But when you know better, you do better. And so you can sit on the sidelines and complain, or you can go in, feet on, boots on the ground. And so the chief and everybody else knows this. I ain't scared. Never was.
I'm scared for you sometimes.
And so when you see that Lexus going sideways with the tinted windows, you know that's me. That's me. And the kids know it's me. So again, I'm just excited about where we are and the leadership and the fact that I've been invited to the table.
I have all my family in Memphis. I'm praying for every officer in Memphis, Richmond, and across the country that do their job every day when people are not looking, and they do it with integrity.
We are so fortunate to have represented right up front 2 chiefs that are actively involved and will stand by your side arm in arm for anything that we have to face that we know is difficult.
Because black women, black men, we serve a part, whether you are the police officers arresting those who've done something wrong or the prosecutor putting them behind bars because we've proven that they've done something wrong, or advising the police department because we want them to do something right. That's the reason why I'm here, so that other people, young people like me, can see me and see themselves.
And when you see the video, we ask and pray that you would not react with violence, and we want peace to radiate throughout this city.
Teamwork makes the dream work. So let's stay in peace, let's stay in love, and let's stay in unity.
As chaplains for the Richmond Police Department, we stand in unity and prayer with Memphis.